Number one, Ibble Dibble here. Hello friends, how are you? Today I woke up excited to work on a video about the implications of Harry and Meghan not getting invited to the Grosvenor wedding. But instead, we'll be talking about how I've been silenced, not silent. I've made all my videos private and put up a poll/petition for you on my community page because as I open up my YouTube tab, the very first comment I see is, "Hi Ibble Dibble, have you been demonetized? I got a weird message from YouTube about my membership. Thank you." Thank you, Margie M, for letting me know what the hell is going on. Yep, demonetized. The question, of course, is why? I've gotten 0 copyright strikes whenever I get a copyright claim because I've used a too long clip of an old TV show or something. I always eliminate the clip, use a still photo, read the quote myself instead of using their recorded voices, etc. And all of this happens before publishing. I have to delete the original video, re-edit the video, and re-upload the video, sometimes a couple times, because these aren't people reviewing videos, these are bots, and they get it wrong a lot. I've never uploaded anything remotely close to violating fair use laws, but I do recognize that fair use laws under the US Constitution, and I do have an American-based, I guess, YouTube account, you have to choose a country, is different from their own company policy, and more specifically, YouTube paid partner policy. The sole exception to this is the video where I put Serena's mom ignoring Meghan at Wimbledon on a loop for 5 minutes to clown music. I got a copyright claim on that one and was happy to leave it up demonetized for me, with all revenue from any ads going to the copyright claimant. I suppose the news service or perhaps videographer who originally shot that footage. They deserve it. Let me read you the email. Title, your channel is no longer eligible to monetize. Learn how to reapply. Hi, Ibble Dibble. Our team of policy specialists carefully looked over the videos you've uploaded to your channel, Ibble Dibble. We found that a significant portion of your channel is not in line with our YouTube partner program policies. Okay, let's cut in right here. First, specialist team took a careful look. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I know that YouTube does not have a ton of human reviewers. 99.99999% of review is done by bots that scrape the web for media matches, prioritizing the media of paid advertisers. It's not a coincidence that YouTube doesn't give a shit if we use Meghan's real voice or Meghan's altered voice from her Spotify podcast, but immediately flagged an 11-second clip from 35 years ago of Yes Minister because it ran on the BBC. BBC and all the mainstream media channels are paying the big bucks to take over YouTube. We've all seen it. They are indiscriminately suggested to us on our homepage, while the channels we actively subscribe to and hit the notification bell for are oftentimes not shown at all. The vast majority, again, 99.99999% of the few human reviewers they do have are remote workers getting paid $15 an hour who frequently do not speak the language of the video in question as their native language, and what they're doing is simply scanning for obviously offensive illegal shit. Porn, physical violence, sexual assault, creepy stuff with kids, animal abuse, etc., etc. When a video gets flagged and put into their queue, they watch it for mere seconds before rendering a decision, which most of the time is obvious. But in my case, a reviewer would have to spend a good deal of time watching my videos to decide whether the YouTube partner policies can be interpreted broadly enough to discount my content. And I don't believe anyone has, because they would be clutching at straws. Viewers, let me know in the comments below. Is my channel against YouTube policy in any way that you are aware of? Do you think there's anything illegal on my channel? Is there anything horribly offensive about my channel? Do I use more borrowed content, aka video clips and photos, than any of the other creators in this niche that you watch? The answer is obviously no to all of that. And that's why I don't believe anyone has actually reviewed my channel. Certainly not anyone anyone competent, certainly not more than one video, certainly not more than 10 seconds. To wit, channels with over 100,000 subscribers are given a client manager at YouTube called, I believe, a YouTube partner manager that they can go to when bullshit like this happens. My subs have been floating in the low 20,000s for a while now. My videos do not get recommended to new viewers. The more intellectual and off topic I get, the fewer returning viewers return. YouTube's own policies indicate that my channel is not worth enough to them in dollars and cents to have a team of policy specialists carefully look at my channel. The second part I take issue with in these very few first lines is a significant portion of my channel. What? My channel is 95% just me talking and giving my opinion, sharing facts and stats with you you may not already know. Advertisers have been making money off of it for about a year and a half now. There's nothing lewd on my channel ever. There's nothing for kids. I curse only occasionally. And my Meghan Markle fashion critique videos moved more than $10,000 of product in their affiliate program. What are they complaining about? I think there are a few explanations for what might have happened here. Number one, false mass reporting of my channel by boozy bots and whatever hardcore sugars haven't fallen off yet. Or who knows, maybe I've picked up some new haters doing my exposés of Jamil, Brene Brown, and the like. I'm sure they also have their own paid bot armies and sycophantic followers. It seems really odd for a team of policy specialists to, for no reason, all of a sudden after 18 months, review my channel now, no? Second option, bots gone wild. Their algorithm has changed, their scraping has changed, their client base has changed. So perhaps every clip I ever used from Archetypes or Netflix, for example, that was once fine, is now all of a sudden getting flagged by bots at the same time. All the other channels in this niche have used all the same clips. So I highly doubt this, but it's possible. It's possible. Option number three, someone who works specifically in this department or one of their high-paying clients doesn't like me. Do I think Meghan and Harry, Jamil, Brene Brown, etc. have probably lodged complaints, if not legal filings, against anyone who has ever verbally criticized them and hurt their feelings? Yeah, I think they probably have. Again, that's my speculation. I'm not stating that as a matter of fact, but yeah, I think they probably do stuff like that. And it could be someone like that. I've also pretty recently watched documentaries from 60 Minutes and DW and commented, you got these 3 points wrong and this story is 2.5 years old. Why am I watching this? And shit like that. So maybe their high paying media partners eliminate accounts that criticize their work from the inside instead of just deleting comments like normal people. Or the fourth option, maybe it's kind of a YouTube inside job. As I said before, I've made YouTube a not insignificant amount of money through affiliate marketing and ad revenue. I haven't posted in what, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that, and had slowed down my posting last month because number one, I have been in countries with terrible internet. I mean it, like tether to your 3G phone internet, countries with planned blackouts. I have other things to do in these places. YouTube is never my priority, but also at certain points, it's incredibly difficult for me to even use. Maybe they noticed my November revenue was a third of my October revenue, and my December revenue looks like it's going to be less than half of my November revenue. We're talking about really low numbers here. Remember when Yankee Wally got deplatformed and it was in the newspapers that she was earning a whole £2,400 a month? Like, wow, God forbid an entertaining senior citizen can afford a one-bedroom apartment somewhere. In December so far, I have made $131.63. Supposedly, it's always less when you actually get your check. As I said, my fashion videos are my biggest earner summers, maybe coming up on Christmas time, YouTube would like to pocket any ad revenue coming off those videos instead of sharing some with me. We know they run ads on demonetized channels. You're still going to see ads whether I get any money or not. So that's a possibility. And since I'm making so little as is, maybe they thought now would be a good time to swoop because I'm obviously distracted. I may very well miss their 21-day appeal window. Maybe I abandoned the channel completely and I won't even know they swooped. Maybe the fake policy specialist team algorithm is actually triggered by low output, low views, declining subscribers, or something of that nature. Not actually anything at all to do with my content. About a year ago, I think, a year ago now, YouTube made a cash grab for evergreen, but basically abandoned channels. So creators that hadn't posted anything or had only posted maybe one thing a month, 2 months in a row, all got demonetized, no matter how many subscribers they had, no matter how evergreen, how timeless their videos are. I'm getting the same vibes from this. It may not seem like a lot to deny any individual creator $300 or $500 or $2,000 a year or whatever, but there are 61.1 million creators on YouTube. Scooping up just 10 or 20% of them would mean clawing back a lot of cash for YouTube because the ads are still running, they're just not paying. I wouldn't agree with them, but I would believe that advertisers would use that perhaps as a negotiating tactic, saying they were simply unwilling to advertise on declining channels or inactive channels, or they were only willing to pay less to advertise on those channels. I might believe that. I would understand if YouTube's email was like, "Hi, we're demonetizing you until you get your numbers back up." But instead, they hit me with this, most of your videos violates our advertising policies, but we can't tell you how or give you any examples or timestamps. When it's clear that there are so many channels so much more scandalous than me that are monetized. If someone watched a reasonable number or portion of my videos, wouldn't they have that information? Another YouTube point, I contacted them in late November, so about a month ago now, saying that for months on end, my payments have been short. At first it was by $3, $5, $7. The money that actually came into my bank account did not match up with the money I saw in my YouTube analytics, but over the months it grew to 40, 50, 60. You know, at a certain point you think, did they have an embezzler in the accounting department? What is going on? Maybe this is some sort of punitive measure for requiring their human manpower to actually take a look at my account. And they're basically saying, fuck you for questioning us. We will now take all the advertiser money should you continue creating on our platform. Thank you very much. The final option, of course, though I believe the least likely by far, is that there is a sugar in a position of power at Google abusing their job and they need to get fired. Well, actually, I guess the final option would be an account manager from Max Mara called them personally and said, "We didn't make that horrible red suit. It was Laura Piana. How dare she? End her." That would be the most unlikely option. Then again, I honestly don't know who advertises on my channel, what the content of their ads is, how the mix is determined or changes. I really don't know. Up until now, I have always paid for the YouTube Premium to enjoy an ad-free experience when I could have just bought an ad blocker. Guess what else was terminated today? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think happened here? Moving on. While your channel is demonetized, you should not create new or use existing channels to get around these restrictions. This includes using any of your related channels to apply to YPP or directing viewers to your other channels that may already be monetizing. Doing so could lead to termination of all your channels. First of all, I don't have any other channels, so this threat falls on deaf ears. Also, I think it's super obnoxious that YouTube would threaten to nuke unrelated additional small channels for monetized creators. Say you have a fashion channel and a politics channel, and someone doesn't like your politics. What? Do they demonetize both? Looks like it. Isn't the supposed problem with the existing content on this channel, not future content on a different channel? What a nasty way to do business. Secondly, what exactly is the problem with directing your subscribers to another of your channels? I never believed in cancel culture. Before I really thought about it, I thought, it's obvious that in a free market, free speech nation, the individual decides who gets their money. If I don't want to watch a Woody Allen movie because I think he's a pedo, I don't go to that theater. I don't buy a ticket for that movie. The theater and Woody don't get my money. YouTube is denying you your choice. When YouTube demonetizes people like me, who are undoubtedly far more innocent in every regard than, the cancel culture people we think of, Woody, Bill Cosby, Armie Hammer, they're denying you your ability to support creators you find interesting with your subscription dollars and or ad minutes watched. To quote Annalisa Butler, current director of media relations for the U.S. House of Representatives, in a 2022 Heritage Foundation article, quote, financial deplatforming or banking censorship will be a common lever governments and companies reach for when it comes to censorship of political opinions. Given that we are so close to social credit, with the social acceptance of moral judgment outside the legal system and the technical means to collect and analyze information at scale, the Chinese system provides a frightening roadmap, end quote. Speaking of, did you ever notice that ever since CGTN and Global Times became such huge media partners and advertisers on YouTube, any channel that's even mildly critical of China gets demonetized? FYI, China ranks second to last in terms of press freedoms in the world, last being North Korea. Reporters Without Borders called China, quote, the world's largest prison for journalists, with its regime conducting a campaign of repression against journalism and the right to information worldwide, end quote. Chinese people can't even watch the Beijing-based CCP-owned and run CGTN that you watch because they can't access YouTube from the Chinese internet. Sure, they can use a VPN, and many do, but many also get arrested when they get on the wrong side of someone who knows them really well and reports them to the police. Why am I even talking about this? Why the hell not? I'm already demonetized. I think a lot of people are aware that propaganda and corruption and shadow banning exist in our media, but imagine it as an ideological issue, woke versus based, right versus left. It's nothing of the sort. It's small time, it's pervasive, it's about networking, it's about money, it's scummy. Moreover, for almost 25 years now, CCP propaganda has found its way into Western mainstream media via not only those big advertising dollars, but offering free, easily recyclable content. For example, The Guardian reported in 2018 that the China Watch newspaper supplement, carried by The Telegraph, The New York Times, The Wall Street Journal, and Le Figaro, was just CCP propaganda directly from the source. And to quote John Miltmore, reacting to both Roth's book titled You Will Own Nothing and the relatively recent news of Russell Brand's YouTube demonetization, quote, this is what makes the government's incestuous relationship with big tech and other companies so dangerous. Government officials can lean on companies to coerce them to punish dissent and wrongthink, something it has already done with great enthusiasm, end quote. Like what examples, you may ask? Remember when Twitter permanently suspended the physician in Brown University researcher and professor Andrew Bostom for spreading supposed COVID misinformation when actually he was telling people the truth? Bostom was citing the government's own data, an FDA briefing document that included randomized controlled trial data on children. After Bostom sued Twitter, it was revealed that all 5 of his tweets that had been flagged as misinformation were in fact legitimate. Bostom's offense wasn't lying. His offense wasn't spreading misinformation. His offense wasn't spreading misleading interpretations of the truth. He also is not the perpetrator of any past offenses, not essays like Russell Brand and P. Diddy, allegedly, or even improprieties. The man pays his taxes. Students don't complain about him. Moreover, he wasn't alone. Epidemiologist Martin Kulldorff, formerly of Harvard, and mRNA vaccine creator Dr. Robert Malone were also suspended, banned, and de-amplified, not because they did anything wrong or told any lies, but because Twitter, as an institution, was unable or unwilling to determine what was true and what was false. Ostom's lawyer discovered that Twitter's censorship process was not only extremely convoluted, but relied 99% on bots, 0.9% on contractors in foreign countries who lacked the expertise to make informed decisions, and 0.1% on Twitter brass who carried their own biases and realized their own incentives, financial, political, and otherwise. Gee, that sounds so familiar. Uncanny, in fact. Is it a coincidence that just a month ago I said Megan's dumb white suit was inappropriate for autumn in New York and she looked like a toilet paper roll? And now my monetization is suspended? Probably. Is it a coincidence that in that same video I said the Surgeon General of the United States needs to get his stats correct and cite his sources? And now I'm demonetized? Maybe not, I'm realizing. What do you think? The goal here to me seems twofold. Number one, to try to shut me up, obviously. Number two, to make sure they can redirect the maximum number of my viewers possible to channels they approve of. This is YouTube either threatening to blacklist me or telling me they have already blacklisted me. I'm sure it's very effective for people who actually make a living from their YouTube channel. But I'm also sure it's still pretty effective for people more like me who do this as a hobby, are inconsistent with posting, and really are just here for the chuckles. Not because it means so much to me to make $130, but because I'll be damned if they make a pile of cash advertising on my content and don't give me any. And therefore my first reaction is just to delete the whole channel. And isn't that exactly what Megan, Harry, Jamila, Brene, Scobie, Boozy, and co. really want for Christmas? Okay, I'm cutting this off here because my internet literally doesn't have the bandwidth to upload videos. I'm going to bed and maybe it will be done uploading when I wake up, maybe. But I do want to keep you updated, so I'm just going to do an update on this process anytime I have one. I am putting a poll on my community tab. It's a poll/petition, so it's really important for you to participate. I want to use it as part of my appeal video. So I'm trying to get as many people to vote and comment as possible. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Joyous Kwanzaa if I don't speak to you before then. Toodles. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.